culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. How are y'all doing? Let me move this light a little bit closer to me. It does feel a little bit far. Maybe tilt it out a little bit. There we go. Oh my God, you guys. I am so tired. I hardly slept last night. I was having just the hardest time sleeping. So today I slept in extra long to make up for it and got some stuff done around the house and just quickly put some makeup together to get ready and do this show after prepping it this morning as well. Real quickly, we've got a new channel member, Jules734. Welcome to our channel membership. It is so nice to have you. Let's see who's in here joining us for the morning report so far. We've got Renee's, Carol, Carolyn, Jaleesa, Ronnie, Jessica, Ashley's here, Theo, Brittany, Brandon, Ali, Jen, Tadisha, Venetia, and Queen Nefertari. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. It's Thursday. The week is almost done. Did I ever show this to you guys, by the way? My friends for my birthday, they had set me up because I said I wanted to learn how to sew with a machine because I know how to do it by hand, but I want the machine. They set me up with a sewing class. And that's how I learned how to make this little pouch and stuff. I was the worst in the class, actually, I think. I was the last one to get it done. But listen, this is what I use for my art supplies because another hobby that I picked up was watercolor painting. So I keep my palette in here, my brushes, all sorts of different things. My little brother's birthday's coming up. And you guys know for Christmas, I sent out watercolor Christmas cards to the family. And for his birthday, I'm going to be sending him a watercolor birthday card, and it's a picture of him. So hopefully he's not watching this video, but voila, I just love this hobby. It's so much fun. So yeah, good morning, Kristen, Jasmine, April, Malika, Kelly, Cynthia as well. We've got so much to discuss in today's morning report. I see some of you guys are already really looking forward to talking about certain topics, the bar one in particular. So there are two teen mom stories. Those people are actually on a roll right now because there was a while when I didn't really speak about them because they didn't have much going on, but lately they've been on it. So we're going to talk about Barr being sentenced to 6 months in jail. He does also have a heavy kind of probation looming over him that could result in even more jail time. Also in the teen mom world, Mackenzie Standifer and her father called 911 against Ryan Edwards and his parents when they showed up to the home to complete some sort of an inspection. Apparently, it was only Ryan that was supposed to go alone, be accompanied by a member of Mackenzie's family or someone of her choosing, but he decided to disregard those rules and show up with his henchmen, aka his parents, Jen and Larry. Ooh, Lord. Honestly, I cannot imagine having one child in life and your child turning out like this. Those moment of silence for those parents, because that must be any parent's nightmare, right? I feel like if you got multiples and one of them turns out like this, okay, at least you got other ones that you could be proud of, that you have good moments with. But if this is your one and only, God bless. My thoughts are with you. We're also going to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, particularly Kathy Hilton's behavior and how I am so over her and this dumb senile lady act. Porsha Williams is denying calling ICE on her estranged husband, Simon Guobadia, who is currently in ICE custody. Khloe Kardashian is also talking about how her daughter True is convinced that she is married to trifling Trash Can Thompson, aka True's father, and how Khloe helped Kim divorce and other stories as well. So if you guys are enjoying the stream at any point, do not hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. So let's start off light. We're going to have a little bit of an hors d'oeuvre before we dig into the main course, okay? Because obviously we've got some very dramatic stories to get into, but I want to start it off light. Did you guys watch Tuesday's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? First of all, I love this look on Garcelle. Garcelle's a very beautiful woman, but she typically cannot dress to save her life. And, her hair is usually just not it for me, but she slayed this look. Kyle also looks really, really beautiful here. So there was a scene in Tuesday night's episode of RHOBH that really kind of like sent me over the edge almost. And it was when Sutton was doing her fashion show. Like Sutton, she's been talking a lot this season about never feeling like anybody is proud of her, not feeling good enough or anything like that. And so she really was so excited about putting together this fashion show. And Kathy Hilton decided to go extremely far out of her way with her whole dumb old lady act to try and destroy Sutton's fashion show. And it pissed me off so much. And I don't understand why people still laugh at it. People still fall for it. People find it cute. People find it quirky. Like Kathy Hilton has been married into one of the most powerful American families for the majority of her life. She got married very, very young, right? And so she understands etiquette. She understands politeness. She understands decorum, all sorts of things like that. But she pretends that she doesn't. And a lot of people, they're just so desperate to be liked by this like super rich woman that they fall for it, or they play into it. And it's just so stupid and annoying, right? And it's like Ose says, which is that it's enabling at its finest, right? Like just way too damn much. It's annoying. Kathy knows all of these things. She knows that it is not, good etiquette. It's not polite. It's very ratchet to just get up when a fashion show is about to begin, and she wanted to suddenly ask Sutton to let Dorit, who is Sutton's enemy, host or MC this fashion show minutes before it was set to start. Like Sutton was already extremely nervous because, again, this was her big kind of like debut for her brand and everything like that, reinventing things and wanting to prove herself. So imagine you've set up this huge show, you put thousands of dollars into this, all this attention, all these huge media outlets, Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, etc., are there for you. And this freaking snake of a friend of yours, Kathy, just gets up in front of everybody. She doesn't even try to do it discreetly. She just gets up on the runway that has already been polished and cleared for the models. She gets up there and then goes backstage to ask you, as all the models are lined up, to let some random girl MC your show with no rehearsal, no nothing. Like that is so freaking mean, so stupid. And then when Sutton obviously says no, what does Kathy do? She turns around, comes up through the front again, and screams it. So there's Dorit on the bottom left. Hey, Dorit, she said no. No to what? Dorit didn't even ask you to go and do that. What was that? It was so rude. It was so tacky. It was so ratchet. Anybody else would be called ghetto for this behavior. Kathy, she acts like she's got no kind of home training. She acts in a very ratchet, lowbrow, ghetto kind of way, right? And so she screams in front of everybody. And then, as if she didn't get enough attention from that already, what does she do? Do you see the limp blue hand over there, the blue shirted hand over there that she's shaking? She tries to engage Erica's mom from the crowd. Oh, hi, how are you? How are you? She knows the show is starting. And she grabs Erica's mom's hand. And Erica's mom is taken aback. She wasn't even trying to have this moment because she knew that the show was starting, right? But Kathy truly wanted to make this as messy and to ruin this show as much as possible for Sutton, right? And so that was just ridiculous. So she wanted to be in the way when the first model came out. And obviously that would cause some sort of like attention for her, some sort of like a traffic jam or whatever on the runway. So there she is. She knows the girl is behind her and she's still there. Hi, she has nothing to talk to this woman about because she barely even knows this woman. It's so stupid. It really is. And I hope that they take her to task for this at the reunion because it's ridiculous and it's old. She's attended 1,000,001 different fashion shows around the world for the biggest brands. She's never behaved this way anywhere. She knows what she's doing. She's not stupid. She's not senile. She's mean. And she's too coward to be mean out loud. Be mean with your chest if you want to be an asshole. She has to hide behind stupidity or whatever, like this dumb lost old lady act. And it's just annoying. And I'm glad that Erica clocked it. She said, yep, per usual, Kathy has to come. She has to get the attention, do whatever she needs to do to get that. And I'm happy that she stood up for it, right? Oh my God. Kathy Hilton drives me nuts. I hate how stupid she wants us to think that she is. It's annoying. I'm over it. Anyway, let's see what you guys have to say. Theo says that the episode was a little bland. Yeah, it all kind of revolved around this one particular fashion show. And hi, Mel, NYC. Nice to have you here. Kelly says Garcelle and Kyle are stunners. They absolutely are. Let me go ahead and put up that picture again because they both looked absolutely beautiful over there. And I'm happy to see that they are getting along much better these days, right? Petty LaBelle has an eye roll for Kathy. And honestly, I rolled, I cringed. I had all of that for her because it was just in such poor taste. Theo says that he's read a lot about people saying that they're tired of Kathy. I'm neither here nor there about her. Listen, I'm glad that more and more people are waking up to her act and just like over it. Like, you know, she's done this for like, what, 4 seasons now? Come on now. Miss Kathy is giving Aunt Clara from Bewitched, fumbling around, looking confused and bewildered. Listen, maybe she went ahead and modeled her persona after that, but whatever it is so damn disingenuous, right? And awful the way that feisty Canadian says as well. Not feeling it. Sorry, I'm not a Kathy Hilton fan at all, you guys. Sorry. By the way, Queen and Ronnie, thank you so much. You know, I've been trying to wear a lot of color these days. And I feel like this week I've really succeeded at it because y'all know me during winter, we're getting sun now. So maybe that's why, but during winter, I typically wear just like all black. Denise says, I'm so sick of Kathy. Why is she in the show? She's always acting slow and a ding dong. Exactly. Listen, maybe at first people were falling for it, but at this point, come up with something new. We are over it. So there is another housewife that we do need to talk about, and it is none other than Porsha Williams from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. As y'all know, she had a very kind of tumultuous relationship with her estranged husband, Simon Guobadia, who allegedly is in the U.S. illegally, and he got detained by ICE. And a lot of people were thinking, is it Porsha trying to get rid of him so she can keep the mansion to herself? Well, she is finally getting ready. Well, she's finally responding to those accusations. Take a look at what it is that she had to say in response to those rumors.
Let's start with the divorce, right?
Oh, let's do.
People automatically people
assumed
people assumed it was infidelity, but you know, in the first episode, you talk about you would go to the airport and you would always get pulled to the side, and you got to the point you was like, why the hell do we keep getting pulled to the side?
Right.
Did you call ICE on Simon?
No, it doesn't benefit me at all for him to be locked up. Mentally and financially, it doesn't benefit me. You know, just because you're going through a divorce doesn't mean you hate someone. I hate actions. I hate lies. I hate a lot of characteristics, but I love the person, you know, and I would never wish harm on anybody. And at the end of the day, I know that he's the type of person, he's a slithering snake. He's going to find his way out of it. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Damn.
You know, and I pray for him, his family, and I hope they all figure it out. But I called him.
You called him a snake, but the snake got you.
Yeah, they do. They get around you and they hold real tight. They hold real tight. But that's also me. I mean,
So there you have it. Porsha is denying all of the allegations against her. She's saying she had nothing to do with the ICE call. Here's my thing. I thought it was very ironic that Porsha called Simon a snake, considering how she even got with Simon and just her in general and the way that she's backstabbed other housewives over the years. We've seen her backstab Kandi, who put her on, helped her out when she got kicked out of her marital home with Cordell with nothing but a toothbrush, not even health insurance. She turned around and spread these grape rumors and rug rumors against Kandi. We've seen her turn on Cynthia, get on top of her, try to beat her up. Now we saw her, be friendly with Fallon on the show just to turn around. And apparently, according to Tisa Tells, who's another YouTuber that I really enjoy, apparently Porsha and Simon's relationship started way before they even started filming as well. And she has a lot of receipts on that. So I feel like Houston Rose says, good morning, by the way, it really does take a snake to know a snake. And Porsha is one of the best snakes out there because for some reason, a lot of people still do find her to be very likable, despite all of the evil things that she has done over the years. And I find that to be extremely fascinating. She needs to teach a course on the likability, because if anybody else did all of these things that she did, they would be, very, very poorly regarded. But somehow she manages to endear herself to a lot of people. So you know what? This is a great comment. Mel NYC reviews that RHOA is going to be good. Are you guys tuning in for this season of RHOA? It is premiering on Sunday. And just a reminder, Monday, right after the morning report on Monday, I'll be on Layla Lynn's channel to recap that with Campfire as well. So make sure to check it out. I'll send a link to you guys when it comes out, either on Friday or Monday. Okay, you guys. So we're going to have to do that again. The Dream Team is back for another collab, and it is really, really exciting, okay? Kelly says that I'm glad Porsha is back, but I'll miss Kenya. Rating will still probably drop. And you know what? The good thing is they didn't completely erase Kenya. She's going to appear in at least the first couple of episodes, so there's that at least. Theo says that he doesn't think Portia's smart enough to do that to Simon. Listen, I can see that too. I can see that. You know what? It might have just been luck for Porsha, because at the end of the day, I think this is great for her. Now there's less resistance, right, about her stay in the house. Simon's not going to be able to be live tweeting, harassing her about RHOA. So you know what? A win is a win for her, right? Mel says Dr. Simone is right. Yup, I agree. I really, really agree. And I'm with Tadisha on how excited I am to see Shamia's life. The 2 elevators in her damn house, please. I am so damn jealous. Shemjem says I don't watch any Housewives, but it seems like a lot of drama. It really, really is. Honestly, it's good. To be honest with you guys, though, I haven't watched RHOA in a long time, in a couple seasons. So this is going to be the first time in a little while that I go ahead and watch it. Now, you guys, why don't we get into the bar story, okay? So, Ricky Smith from Teen Mom. Do I even have a picture of this man? Why do I not? Hang on. Let me go ahead and tee up a picture of him. Do you guys remember when he kidnapped Ashley? Ashley talked about it primarily in the last season of Teen Mom Next Chapter. She said that she had just gotten home from work and she found that her ex was already in the house, and he forced her to stay in the house. He wouldn't let her leave. He had put like a chair under the door so that she wouldn't be able to like open it or anything like that. It was very, very ugly, his behavior. And she had been going through the legal process. He was fighting against it, pleading not guilty and whatnot. And thankfully, it turns out that the courts are not buying his excuses and they have sentenced him to jail. I will say, though, despite the fact that it's great that he was convicted and sentenced, I don't think that 6 months is enough time for such an offense, right? Especially considering this is not his first time being violent against Ashley. So the fact that he's got a history of violence and now this time we're throwing in kidnapping, only 6 months, it seems a little light. And granted, he has spent a total of about 7 months so far already in jail awaiting trial. So I guess in total, it's going to be about a year and a month. But even that is not enough. I personally think that he should have gotten more, especially considering he crossed state lines. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was this man not on probation when he crossed state lines without alerting his probation officer to stalk his ex and barricade her inside of her own home? How do you only get a total of a year for something like that? I think that, men have it too easy when it comes to DV, because it seems like, similar to drunk driving and DUIs, right? They're not very heavily punished. And I find that to be absolutely shocking and disappointing, and yeah, sure, she can have a restraining order against him, but at the end of the day, a restraining order is just a piece of paper. And this man who has shown himself as being capable, like crazy enough to go ahead and cross state lines to go after a victim, that's not enough time. It really, really isn't. And it looks like you guys feel the same way. Like, what is this, right? And I feel like 6 years at least would have been a lot more appropriate than this. What the heck? Anyway, shout out to Starcasm.net for this story and the US Sun as well. So I'm going to take a look and share with you what it is that they had found via the court records. Okay, you guys. So again, Barr has already served about 7 months in jail for this. And according to the court filings, that he submitted a plea on February 28th to a misdemeanor charge of battery constituting DV from the incident on July 7th. In which he, quote, willfully and unlawfully used force or violence against Ashley as he, quote, barricaded doors and prevented her from leaving. And so this is a no contest plea that he attempted to enter. And it essentially means that he chose not to admit or dispute the criminal charges and does not admit any guilt, but accepts the court's punishment. And so the court ruled and decided that to 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center with 1 year of probation. Even the probation is a joke, right? But if he gets any more DV trouble again in the next 7 years, which, let's be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he did, then stricter punishments would be put in place, right? So he will be getting harsher sentences. He would be getting fines up to $5,000 and a maximum of 6 years in jail, which I feel like, listen, if you already did this and they let you easy with 6 months and you and you already had a history prior to this and you go back to doing things like this, even 6 years at that point, I think they should have started with the 6 years. It's a nice part, right? Then you go up to 20, 30 years to really scare him and other people like him. But it feels like this is very, very lenient. And I feel bad for Ashley and any other person in this situation as a victim. And so Ashley was actually scheduled to make a victim impact statement on the day of his sentencing, but there's no word on whether or not she actually did go ahead and do that. So in addition to having to stay out of trouble on the DV front for the next 7 years, Barr also has to agree to substance abuse evaluations, parenting classes, and no contact with Ashley, especially no negative contact with Ashley. And so, yeah, honestly, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised because it always feels like these things are taken very lightly, especially people with like a long history of this sort of kind of dangerous behavior. So, we really, really, really do need reform on these sorts of sentencing. Kelly says that she thought Barr was facing 10 years. No, so he's only facing an additional 6 years if he violates his probation or the 7 years that he is supposed to be clean of any sort of DV incidents for. And I worry the same thing, April. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, because I think that this is a man with nothing to lose at this point, right? I think that he is going to, when he comes out of jail and everything, especially because it's already been a year almost, he's going to notice that he doesn't really have that much of a relationship with his daughter anymore. This is not a man who's going to go on and have, in my opinion anyway, he doesn't look motivated to have any sort of a career. His mother is an enabler with the same kind of ratchet mindset. So I wouldn't be surprised if he continued to escalate his crimes, because it just feels like this is it for him. This is his lifestyle essentially. And it's very, very sad. Jaleesa says, I think 6 months is fine. Any longer, that man is going to come out even more hateful. Yeah, well, I don't know. I still feel like it's very, very light because this is not a first offense for him. Just as it's crazy, he got nothing. So next time he will hurt her, right? And that's another thing. Is Ashley protected? Really, when all of this is said and done? Because again, he crossed state lines when he was not supposed to without notifying his probation officer in the first place. To me, that is a very, very dangerous person who's risking it all just to go and kidnap his ex. He's crazy, right? Crazy, right? And I agree. What could have happened? What really, really could have happened? It could have been fatal for her. So I really do wish that the court took this more seriously. And at the very least, for the next 7 years, so almost a decade, he has to stay out of any kind of DV related trouble. And, given his history, that's not looking very likely, which means that more than likely he could potentially actually end up serving up to those 6 years, which, I think is what he deserved in the first place. Ashley says that she didn't realize he was here in Vegas. Hey, Bar, it's going to rain today. May you not get your hour outside today. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Phyllis. Guys, welcome to the Morning Report. We go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the day's hottest stories. If you're enjoying this episode of the show, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content and that you want to see more like it, okay? And thank you so much, Sue. That is so nice. And your doggy is just so damn cute. Every time I see doggies on here, I'm just like, oh, what type of dog is that? It's so cute. Sue, your dog is cute, just like Ashley's dog. So, so cute. Ronnie says that she's disappointed in our legal system when it comes to DV. So many women have been deleted recently by exes. It's sad. Yeah, I actually saw one on TikTok where this woman, she was stalked by this man because she's a content creator on social, and the guy had developed an obsession with her, a fixation, and he was convinced that he was married to her. And so she had her Ring camera. And so on the camera, she would see this guy was coming to her house multiple times a day. And so she called the police and everything. They were even at her house. And all of this is on the Ring camera. What happens in the background? Her stalker is driving by again. And so she's like, there he is, there he is. And the cops are just standing there. She's like, there he is, go get him. They're just standing there. I was like, oh my God, how terrible is that? Theo says, on Campire's Discord server, I said that we would do anything to live in Shamia's huge house, even sleep in her elevator. It's amazing, isn't it, right? Like, she is living the damn life. She really, really is. And her husband seems to love and adore her as well, which, you know, is a beautiful thing, especially when it comes to that lifestyle. Because a lot of times when men have you living that lifestyle, like off their dime or whatever, like they act like they're a god and they should be able to do whatever it is that they want, which is something you see with like athlete wags, where like they all know that their men cheat, blah, blah, blah. But this guy, like, no, he's a really, really good guy. And I love that for Shamia. And you know what? I will be tuning in to see what that's all about. And I'm so happy that you're looking forward to it, Joy. Can't wait to see you there on Monday. So don't forget, you guys, we'll be live Monday. I think it's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Layla's YouTube channel. Okay, you guys? So what do we have next? We've got a Khloe Kardashian story. Then we're going to go on break, do another Khloe Kardashian story, but this time with Kim, Mackenzie Standifer from Teen Mom, and I believe that's it. Okay? So let's get into the first Khloe story. It's involving Khloe and her ex, Trash Can Thompson. The way I cannot stand this man, I still cannot get past the fact that this guy had a kid with somebody and still refuses to even meet the kid in person one time. And to make matters worse, what did this weirdo do? Do you guys remember this? Like, if you guys are regular Morning Report watchers, you remember we talked about this in an episode. I think it was only like in February. He filmed this video, this grown-ass man who has a whole child that he does not acknowledge, doesn't spend time with, you know, reluctantly provides any kind of child support to. He goes, how many kids does he have? He's got Prince, he's got True, and he's got Theo, and he's got Tatum, right? He goes, you know what? People always say I only have one daughter, but that's not true. I've got two daughters. True's my daughter, and Dream's my daughter. Dreamy, you freaking weirdo. You've got multiple kids, one of whom that you do not even acknowledge at all. You've got a son that you were getting sued by his mom because you're not paying child support on him. His auntie is online talking about how you're rarely seeing him. And you're over here on the internet fawning over a child that is not even yours, someone else's daughter. You freaking weirdo. He's a weirdo. And why is he even involved in anything involving Dream, right? Because I know that Khloe likes to like play surrogate mom to Dream, even though China is very much active in her life. I think it's more so because Rob is not up to much of anything. I think he just hides out in his room for the past several years, right? So Khloe takes over Rob's parenting time. And instead of people going, Rob, what the hell are you doing that your sister's always with your daughter as if it's her own daughter, right? People are acting like Black China is the absent parent, right? So anyway, she is not even with Trash Can, yet Trash Can is on the internet talking about he spends so much time with Dream that's his other daughter. What? And it's also confusing his real daughter, True Thompson, because according to Khloe, True actually thinks that she and Trash Can are married. She talked about it on Wednesday's episode of The Kardashian, the most recent episode. So she was just out there saying, hey, True thinks that me and Tristan are married. It's the right thing in my opinion to do, get married and have kids. And the only thing that bothers me is that I don't want True going through life thinking that this is what a marriage is. That, oh, you're married to someone and they don't live with you. You never have to kiss them and you don't sleep in the same bed together, sort of a thing. I would like my kids. And then in the confessional, she says that she would like her kids to see her have a husband one day. I would like them to see love and affection and romance. I do want them to have that. When she's older, I can explain it to her. Right now, I believe you do things for your kids because kids should not be involved in adult problems. When she found out I didn't go to college, she was very upset. But why is she convinced that you're with Trash Can? How much time are you spending with this man? Because I know that when he was having issues with his house, she moved him in and his brother Amari, I think his name is. And she's still very much involved in Amari's life and everything like that. But why are we still hanging on to this guy? I think that this is about a lot more than just co-parenting. I think that maybe she still has feelings for this guy. And here's the thing with Khloe. Trash Can is not the first or only man to cheat on Khloe. She's been cheated on by many a man, right? So maybe she is of the belief that this is just what men do. And because she shares children with this man, she might even be considering, dating him. I think they might still be sleeping with each other at the very least, you guys. I don't know. Do you guys get that vibe too? I don't know. I feel like something in my bones is telling me that they are still boinking, because this guy, he has been making all sorts of declarations for Khloe in the press, on social media for the past, year or so. And Khloe, I think that she's someone whose confidence has been shaken. And I'll always say it makes me sad, because she really does seem to be a really sweet girl in her relationships. She seems to be a hopeless romantic, but she's always just railroaded and treated like pure garbage. And I hate that for her. I will tell you guys, though, I think she's got a hero complex. I do. Especially when it comes to Dream and stuff. There's just something so weird about it. And I think that, unfortunately, this hero complex might be what's attracting these sorts of yucky guys to her. Houston says, oh my God, I saw that video. That poor girl had to bait him to get her friends to give that. Oh, you saw that TikTok video. You see? Very, very weird. And that's the exact one that I saw, right? RHOA Fleesa is coming out on Sunday night. Okay, you guys? Let me see what y'all had to say about Trash Can. Fleesa also said, Tristan is weird. I saw he posted a pic of Dream. I would never allow him to post pics of them. Gross, right? It's so weird. Go take care of your kids. Leave Dream alone. She's got a mom, she's got a dad, and she's got a very heavily involved aunt who you are not in a relationship with. Go worry about your own family. Tristan's so gross. I'm convinced he's only attracted to women he doesn't like and intends on punishing them every chance he gets. He creeps me out. He's yup. I'll be honest with you guys. Tristan, here's the thing. I feel like some men feel forced into, whether it's because of how high profile they are, what type of job they do, maybe they're in a line of work that's very homophobic or something. They feel forced to present as heterosexual. And so because they can't be who they really are, and they feel forced to be with a woman for whatever reason, I think that sometimes you see that with these sorts of guys, right? They treat women like pure garbage because they hate you and the fact that they can't be who they really want to be and with who they really want to be. And they will make you suffer and pay for that. And I just, it makes me so damn mad, right? Anyway, you guys, listen, we've got... And this is one of my favorite things ever. I've always said the same thing. I've always said Khloe has a humiliation kink too. Yup. Because the fact that she took this man back too, girl, take us out the group chat. We do not want to participate. We did not consent to participate in your kink. Come on now. Chip Cheerio says, Kardashians are really insecure and desperate. Yeah, here's my thing. And I've always wondered about them. They're so beautiful, right? And they're upheld as the standard of beauty and everything. And they seem really nice, right? A lot of times you hear these stories about celebrities being rude and mean behind the scenes. So I'm not talking about Kendall, you guys. I know Kendall has a terrible reputation of being a mean girl, right? Or just unpleasant as hell. But Khloe, Kim, and Kylie. So not Kourtney, not Kendall. We'll take them out of this. They've always been seen as very beautiful. Well, anyway, they've always been seen as very nice girls, right? And they're supposed to be the most beautiful family in the world. Yet for some reason, they choose these kind of bottom of the barrel guys to have kids with and make a life with. And even still, these guys are batting way out of their coverage. They still treat them like garbage. And they all just wound up single moms too, and I'm so shocked by that. Right. So for example, when you look at their mom, Kris Jenner is another one in her prime, especially she was always seen as a really beautiful woman. Right. But even though she's had several husbands or whatever, her relationships actually lasted a really, really long time, right? She cheated on their father, Rob Kardashian, and that led to the relationship ending, right? So there was that. But that guy loved her. He didn't want to let her go. I don't see that with these girls. They're all going through divorce after divorce, baby daddy after baby daddy breakup, whatever, right? And then she got with Caitlyn Jenner, and that was multi-decades. But then Caitlyn decided to transition, and so obviously Kris did not want to stay in that marriage, so that was over. But that was several decades. Now she's been with Corey for like ever. Why is it? Like, what skill does she have that her daughters do not have? Is it that she has a higher tolerance for BS than her daughters? But I don't even think that that's what it is, because the daughters, especially Khloe, have a pretty high tolerance for BS as well, right? I don't know. I've always found that to be very, very fascinating. These girls, they're going through it, right? But their mom, like she has very, very long-standing, like decades-long relationships, and that you just don't see that with these girls. I think with the exception of Kourtney, she was with Scott for a very long time, and I do think that she's going to be with Travis for a very long time as well. So what is it that Kris and Kourtney have in common that the rest of them do not? I don't know. I'm not saying men are a prize though, right? I think a lot of times anyway, it's best to just cut them loose and keep it moving, right? But I don't know. I've always found that really, really, really interesting. Stephanie says it's a Cancer thing. It's hard not to see the good in people, no matter how trashy some might be. And Cancers are my fave. You guys are so, so sweet. Felisa says, yeah, look at Kylie. She's not pretending her baby daddy is something he's not. Yeah, Katie. Yeah, Khloe would go to war. Right. And even talking about Kylie, how the hell did she have a baby with Travis? God, the guy always seems high out of his mind. Like, girl, like, what did they talk about? And then we saw them do their Cosmo couples interview. The guy knew nothing about her. Did he even know what color eyes she had? He didn't even know what her dog's name was. He knew nothing about her. So what was that all about? Anyway, these people are endlessly fascinating to me. I could talk about them forever, but I won't bore you with that. Listen, I do have to take a break, drink my water. So I've got a word from some of our sponsors to share with you. And on the flip side, we're going to talk about some more teen mom drama. So more particularly, Ryan Edwards getting the cops called on him by his estranged wife, Mackenzie Standifer, and her dad as well. If you guys are enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, don't hesitate to give the stream a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in just a little bit. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. And we are back. Okay, you know what? I thought we were only going to do the Mackenzie story. But let me tell you, it's a beautiful day today. We've got sun. This is our second day in a row with sun, which is huge for us. So I'm feeling extra good. And you guys are amazing as always. So we're going to do the Mackenzie story. Then we actually have a new Janelle story as well. I completely forgot this even came out. So why don't we go ahead and do the both of them today? Okay, so let me go ahead, present my screen to you guys so that we can get into the Mackenzie story, because the 911 call was actually released to the U.S. Sun. So I want you guys to hear it for yourselves. Okay, so let me get my volume up. Here we are, U.S. Sun, heated fight. Teen moms Mackenzie Edwards calls cops over argument involving ex Ryan and his parents after he, quote, breaks court order. So there they are. Remember when he was at his treatment thing after the last arrest and she was trying to be nice to him? So here's what I want to do. I want to play the audio, but also be able to put you guys' like comments up here at the same time. So let me see how that goes. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you could still hear it, because it typically doesn't like when I go between screens. So let's try it out, see how it goes. Okay, you guys, I'm playing it now. Let me know if you could still hear it. Do you hear it?
My ex-husband has a court order that he's allowed to come inspect the property, but he's supposed to be alone, and he came with someone else, and my dad is there. He has a copy of the order signed by Judge Hedrick, but I just want an officer to come just to make sure that there's not an issue.
You say he has a court order to inspect the property?
Yes. He is allowed to look at my home and look at the garage inside and outside, and that's it. He can't take anything.
Is he there right now?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not allowed to be at the home per our agreement and the court order, and Ryan's just supposed to be by himself. But the last time he was there, he destroyed my house, so I just would like somebody to be there.
Okay, so you're not allowed on the premises per court order?
For this inspection. It's my home. Hamilton County 911, location of the emergency.
This is her dad.
Yes, ma'am. This is a domestic thing, I guess. I don't know. This is Bob Standifer. I'm over here. Well, I'm not going to argue with you, folks. I got folks over here that's supposed to walk through the house, and Ryan Edwards is supposed to walk through the house, but he brought his parents with him, and the court document says he's supposed to walk through it. And so I just kind of don't want to.
Okay, what's the address, sir?
Well, yeah, that's fine, Ryan. The court can say what you got to do. I don't know what the address is here at my daughter's house. But, let me walk out here in the mailbox. Hey, I knew he wouldn't do it the way he's supposed to do it. The court, I've got the court documents right here in my hand, and it says for him to come over here inventory and not to bring anybody. And he shows up with his mom and dad, and they're all going through it like. Yeah, I was off Harrison Bay Road.
Okay. And what was your name?
Bob Standifer. It's Ryan Edwards and Mackenzie Edwards is the name of the property.
Okay. Phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
So there you guys go. Just a gist of what happened. The rest of it is just him talking to the operator. Of course, they try to keep you on the phone until the police show up. But yeah, basically Ryan and his parents, they went there. And it's so weird because as Mackenzie's dad says, he was supposed to have gone there to look at the things and to see what he wanted to take and whatnot, and then deal with it in that way. And per their order, he's only supposed to go alone and be accompanied by somebody of Mackenzie's choice to make sure that he doesn't steal anything. So when he comes there, right, with his mom and his dad, he and his dad he's in one direction. He was in the shed. The dad was upstairs, and the mom, she chickened out, I guess, right? She decided to just stay outside when the dad started freaking out and calling the police. So the dad is there, like, I don't even know which direction to look in because they're all over this damn place and they're not supposed to. And that is why they ultimately decided to call the police, which I completely understand. The order is the order. And like Mackenzie said at the top of the call, the last time Ryan showed up at her house, he destroyed it, like gutted the place, right? So yeah, like I don't think she's overreacting by any stretch of the imagination. I think she was right to call the cops. Like Cammie says, his parents need to grow up as well. Why are they constantly enabling this man? And Jolisa, great question. Didn't he just have a baby? What is he doing? Why is he doing this with a newborn at home? Inquiring minds want to know. And speaking of having just had a baby, the baby's mom, Amanda, was on TikTok last night talking about the whole thing, blaming Mackenzie. But here's the gag, Amanda. Right now, you're in good with him, but Mackenzie was you back in the day, talking ish about the other baby mama. And look at where she's at right now, just so that you know that is your future. So it might be all well and good and funny to you now, but give it a year, give it 2 years, 3, maybe even 4, but you will be finding yourself in a very, very, very similar situation with this man. He is just not a good person, in my opinion anyway. He doesn't respect women, and he doesn't seem to respect his own children, judging by the way that he destroyed that damn house that they lived in. So siding with him on this is insane. And the fact that, and I think, who was it that was saying this? Ronnie, right? About how the justice system doesn't protect women in these relationships. The fact that this man who did that to that house is even allowed to go there at all is crazy to me. It really, really is. What is he still doing here? He destroyed, what was it? Hasn't it been 2 years since he did that? What does he still need from this place? Like everything, he should have forfeited everything when he did that, because not only was he the person to destroy the house, but he wasn't even the person who had to pay to get it repaired. Mackenzie had to slowly pay for it to be repaired. That's disgusting. And you know what? Just based off of that, lock BTA, I think she should have had the right to sell everything off so that she could, have some money in her pocket after paying for his damages that he didn't even serve any proper time for. Caroline says, I think Ryan should just leave her alone. I agree. Stay away from her. Leave her alone. You just had a baby. Go be a father to this child, Leave her alone. Stop terrorizing her. Stop harassing her. They had already tried to get him to get his things out of this damn house for so long. He refused to. Now all of a freaking sudden he's bored and he wants to taunt her. He wants to intimidate her. He wants to inconvenience her and harass her. And he decides to go ahead and do this. I'm sad. I'm sad for her, and I'm sad for anybody else who's finding themselves in this situation, because it's just not okay, right? And Houston says, just to think how desperate, right? He was falling asleep behind the wheel, and she was like, we're getting married, dude. We're like, guys, take a look at a man's track record. How is he treating his ex? How is he treating the mother of his children? That should tell you guys, be very careful. This is not even just a message to Mackenzie, because it's already too late, right? She's in this situation. It is what it is. All she could do is try to survive it and make the best of it. But for you, Amanda, just take a look at how he treated Macy. I know Macy's good with him now, but look at the way he treated her back in the day, and his son. Look at the way he's treating Mack and those kids. This is not the person that you want to be writing for online. Hey, Georgia, nice to see you. Jen says his parents are ridiculous. I would never back my son over the well-being of my grandbabies if he acted like that. Right? And these two, they shocked me so much with that, because they were such good grandparents to Bentley, right? Like, they were so involved. They were co-parenting with Macy more so than Ryan was co-parenting with Macy. And then when Macy had Jade, Maverick, like, they would babysit those kids as well. They love kids. So why do they have such disregard? Why are they backing him over the kids that he shares with Mackenzie, Jagger, and Stella? I can't understand that. Oh, Kambule, I'm gonna have to look into that. I only saw some headlines about it, but I don't know the gist of how long they've been married, this, that, and that. I gotta look into it. Unfortunately, I'm not too well versed, but I did see that Campfire put out a video on that yesterday. So don't hesitate to check him out. He's really, really, on it as well. So I'll take a look at it though, because that really is another thing that's what the hell is this about? Right. Hey, Two Snaps. Nice to see you here. Felicia says it's because they love their son more than Bentley. And how sad is that? How sad is that? I get it in one respect, but when your child is just effing up left and right, just worry about the next generation and making sure that they do better than him. I'm sorry, he's a lost cause. All hope is lost with that one, but worry about the children, protecting them, and doing everything opposite to what you did with Ryan. And I agree, Ali. But you know what? I think she is still just so into him. What is she doing running around behind him like this? Ugh. She is out here, shading Mackenzie as well, in favor of Ryan. Yeah, what Mackenzie did to her wasn't cool, but it pales in comparison to anything that Ryan ever did to her or to her son. He threatened to off her and her husband. Mackenzie never threatened to do any of that. So it's just, I don't know. It's lame, in my opinion. We do have one final story, you guys. It is a Kardashian story again. So Khloe Kardashian and Kim Kardashian. Do y'all remember how Kim Kardashian was married at 19 years old? She did an elopement with a music producer who goes by the name of Damon Thompson. And then by the time she was 22, 3 years later, they got divorced. Well, now, as it turns out, apparently they used some money from Khloe's piggy bank to finance her first divorce. And this was another thing that was discussed in the most recent episode of The Kardashians. And so the story goes as follows. When Khloe was about 4 or 5 years old, she got a piggy bank that was about as tall as they were at the time, and it was shaped like a Coke bottle. And she and Kim would put a lot of money into it, according to Kim. Quote, when I was getting my first divorce, I moved out and had no money. I was 21 and she was like, here, you can have my Coke bottle. She was crying in my room and I was like, I have this Coke bottle. Then this is Khloe talking. Let's take what's in there. Let's go to the bank, cash it, and let's use this money for your divorce. And the two of them stayed up all night counting the piggy bank dollars. Quote, and this is a quote from Kim, we stayed up all night counting it. I had $6,000 in it, and it was just enough for me to get the down payment on my apartment and pay first and last month's rent. I gave her all that I got and hopefully helped her. So for her birthday, I found the same Coke bottle piggy bank. I filled it up and I was like, thank you. She never gave me her life savings like that. Sorry, she gave me her life savings like that at 21 years old. She couldn't believe I remembered the Coke bottle. I was like, how could I not? Listen, I think this is a very sweet story on sisterhood. You know, the fact that they had this like big piggy bank from childhood, and like over the years they had accumulated thousands of dollars. And Khloe, you know, at her age, right? I think she was just a teenager when Kim was 21 going through her, you know, first divorce, and she still just like immediately was like, here, take my money, whatever I could do to help you get out of the situation. And then as her older sister, Kim not forgetting and then turning around, giving her that money back in like a similar way, right? In like a Coke bottle sort of form. I thought it was so damn cute. But you know what? 2 snaps. Keeping away from the Kardashians. I'm sorry, but that's kind of funny. That's really funny. But I thought it was just such a really cute story. Because it says that Ryan is a lost cause. He has too many kids now to be putting up with this ish and not see those babies. I agree. Honestly, like I really, really wanted better for him, but it just doesn't seem like he wants any better for himself. Tila says, why is he even over there after what he did to her? Exactly. What is going on? He should have no right to be around her or the house at all. In fact, I would even go as far as saying like he should be only supervised around those children after what he did to their home, right? He's like the type that would like harm in my opinion, he seems like based off what he did to their home, what, you know, what's the people where they're going through a divorce and they say, oh, like, I don't like my ex. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to harm my kid. That's the vibe I get from someone who's capable of doing something like that. Right. Allie, you know what? I do agree, because a lot of the Kardashian stories I've been doing recently have been like them sharing very old stories about themselves and stuff. So they really are kind of reaching there, especially Khloe with her podcast that I like to recap as well. She's been talking about like, you know, do you guys remember that episode? I think it was last week's episode of the Morning Report, Thursday, Friday, where Khloe was sharing a story about how Chris was like, oh, you went on a first date with this guy? He's not calling you back. Did you blow him? Oh, no wonder he's not. And Khloe was like 19, 20 at that time, you guys, like very, very weird. But yeah. So you know what? Listen, Deb, I like scandal. I like mess, and they provide that, and like, you know, funny stories and whatnot. So I definitely do think that they provide that. And, you know, it is a sweet story, right? It is sweet. Jaleesa, Georgia, April, it's sweet. Listen, like she made an investment in Kim's divorce empire that led to 3 other divorces. So voila, 2 other, I should say. But listen, I'm happy. All's well that ends well, right? Anyway, you guys, that does it. Another episode of the Morning Report. I've had the best time talking about the day's hottest stories with you guys per usual. We do go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so don't hesitate to come and join us again tomorrow for more content. Then, of course, we take a break for the weekend before picking back up next Monday, okay? So if you enjoyed this episode, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up on your way out, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.